All right, what is up, YouTube? I'm back once again, streaming live. Definitely want to address some of the questions that you guys, definitely threw at me. I'm glad that you guys were able to, start engaging in the YouTube videos that I do share. So, we're gonna get to the first one because the first one definitely was sent to me through via text, through somebody in my chat room. They definitely wanted to know about a certain stock they're thinking about investing in because they've seen it. The stock went from 75 cents to $3, and we're definitely gonna take a look at that pharmaceutical company and see if it's definitely worth putting some money towards it. So we see the positions I do have. We have Apple here, Berkshire Hathaway, still making us money even though it's slightly down. We have Chesapeake. We have available dollars about 106,000. Maybe it has to be realistic for the money to actually settle and come back to me. So I thought I had about seven, 6 or 7 grand to play around with, but I see that we have over $100,000 to play around with. So I guess it does give us some leeway to see what else should we invest in. So I was able to see you guys' comments, but definitely we're going to take a look at the thing that was sent to me via text. So I want to make sure that one is definitely first. So we see Chesapeake still losing this money, but we do see it going back to 5. Clorox starting to lose this money. Home Depot still at that 150 level. It's kind of coming back because of I would say stocks can't run up all the time, and they do take breaks. So you start to see that effect coming in. We see Honeywell definitely climbing up. 130 was definitely a hump for it. 135 definitely become way overbought, but now it's at 134, just chilling right there. PLX definitely a penny stock that we invested in. I think it was like $2 or so, but we definitely invested in it and see exactly how far it could carry us. But so far, it definitely has been losing us money, and that's definitely a negative sign. We see Starbucks definitely a long-term investment for me, but we do see it at $57. We did see it at $60 at one point, or 64. It did break an all-time high, but we did see it come back down with the market. And SPU, definitely another penny stock. We want to see exactly what will happen if we invest in the penny stocks. We have the triple Qs here. NASDAQ, amplified by 3 times the percentage return. And also we have the Take-Two Solutions, the video game maker for the parent company to 2K Sports and Grand Theft, or I would say Rockstar North and North Rockstar Games and Rockstar Games. So let's definitely take a look at the first stock that was presented. I know it's a pharmaceutical company, and I know it was down about 10% today. But we're going to see if it's definitely worth, putting some money towards it because, I'm not really sure if they're looking for long term, if they're looking for short term, but we're definitely going to take a look at it from both views. So we look at it from a 1-year chart. A 1-year chart, you say, wow, this thing has run up, from about 50 cents to about $3.19. Definitely a kind of a sketchy run because you do see that this thing started at a penny stock, and you're wondering, did a lot of people, bid this up? Was it like a Timothy Sykes type of thing? You get a lot of people in a group chat to actually bid up stocks and for a stock to actually run up. But as you see right here, maybe it was pretty much news. Or you see right here, stock up 10%, pre-market of regulatory decision from European Commission. So, when you get to all these biotechs, you start to get these rumors, you start to see stocks jump up, or you start to see stocks get hit really hard. What you see a stock get hit really hard, that's typically on a failed trial, or if you see a stock actually pass a trial, actually get the drug passed, you typically see those stocks, definitely demand a higher price for that stock to be trading at. But for right now, we definitely see the stock down 10%. I definitely want to touch it at a overbought level, especially, if we see a huge gap up right there. But I'm really not worried about, this gap, but I do see a huge gap right there between 78 cents and $1. I'm pretty sure this has something to do with the new drug study that did come out. But as we see, the stock is definitely coming back down. Remember, like I said, once we pierce that daily moving average, it is a bull. It's a bullish trade. So lets us know that a lot of buyers are coming, are coming in for the stock. Remember, we don't relatively need the RSI to tell us if a stock is overbought. We can definitely look at the daily moving average for the stock. Also, the Chaikin oscillator definitely gives us the momentum for the stock. Lets us know where the buyers are for the stock. But as we see, we definitely have upward momentum for both the Chaikin oscillator and the RSI. And as we see, definitely momentum. I would say volume is definitely coming out of the stock. We see millions of shares being traded right here to start this run up. But as we see the stock progresses, we start to see less and less people start to buy. We're not seeing, the volume of about 70 million shares being exchanged, but we're starting to see volume low of about 8 million shares being traded this month. So it starts to get a little worrisome. You're like, okay, this might have been a trade. People are definitely dumping it here, because we see right here, it definitely peaked and now it's coming back down, filling gaps so far. So, this is what happens when you get to those biotech companies. You remember, they go down a lot. This is typically where people start to buy in and say, okay, today is the day we're going to buy. But if we were looking at it for trading purposes, so if I were to invest in this company, I just wouldn't touch it, because we see that, it's heavily overbought. RSI of about 78, chalk and oscillator showing the upward momentum is still to the upside, or I would say, kind of coming down. We kind of reached the peak at 319, but who knows? The stock may be up tomorrow on better news, but I really don't trust a company that can start from 50 cents and go to $3. Remember, if we want to invest in a company, we want to make sure that our money is secure in the stock. We don't want to make sure that that we invest in the $3 and now the stock is at 286 and we're looking at it like, will it come back down to the daily moving average level? That's simply how I'm looking at it right now. We see definitely a magnetic, I would say, stocks or the candlestick definitely acts as a magnetic to the daily moving average. We start to see the stock, trend towards going back down to the daily moving average. We're just about 80 cents away from going down to the daily moving average, and the stock definitely will have a lot more room to go lower, as we see large bars definitely piercing through the daily moving average. Not really sure if I were to invest in the stock, because it does like it's just a hot stock, and people might have been playing it because there's really nothing to play ever since the market started to kind of calm down, and we're no longer at record levels. It looks like the market is definitely I would say plateaued, or probably just not going nowhere. It's up and down, not really progressing any higher. We're just chilling right there at a level that's definitely comfortable for people to just trade here and there, but for the investors, not too, I would say, not too concerned about it. But let's definitely take a further look at the company. So this definitely worries me when we definitely take a 3-year look. This is 3-year by 1 week. And as we see right here, the stock definitely has a series of spiking up and going back down. So we see about, 4 different occasions that the stock has spiked up and gone back down. And that typically is a red flag. I don't want to be interested in the company, because remember, if we were to be an investor long term, we definitely want to make sure that our money is secure, and we definitely want to make sure that our company is always looking for growth and always progressing upward. As we see right here, the company stock is definitely failing, and we start to spike up really high, and then we go right back down, spike up high, go back down, and there's a huge period right here, just about almost a year and a half, where the stock does nothing, and does nothing but slowly declines over time. And that's a lot of money lost for investors. And I know a lot of people were buying at this $3.50 level, because it wouldn't be a high if people weren't buying here. But this is definitely not a stock that I'll be interested in, in giving my okay to say, okay, this is a stock to invest in. Because if you look at it from 3 years from now, the all-time high was $3.50, but now we're definitely taking a step back. So we want to be careful in what we invest in, especially those pharmaceutical companies. And I'm pretty sure if we go back even further, the stock was probably at $1,000 or probably at $50 or so. But that's definitely how a lot of these pharmaceutical stocks are. They definitely go to penny levels, because at some point the stock was doing really good, and all of a sudden the company definitely just started to fall off, and they started to fail a lot of trials, or there might have been a lot of defects in their products and things like that. We have to be we have to understand the ins and outs of a company before we say, hey, it's time to invest, or hey, I'm thinking about investing in this company. We definitely want to take a step back, look at the financials, look at the news, look at the news for the past 3 years, because we see right here, 3-year past performance, $3.50, but we see a low of 50 cents. What was the company doing from right here to right here? If you cannot explain to me why the company stock fell, all the way from $3.50 to 50 cents, you don't need to be in the stock, because it might have a history of repeating. As you see here, huge bars, and the stock continues to fall down. So let's look at it from a trading perspective. If we were looking at it from a 180-day, you might hold it for a couple of weeks. This definitely might have been a trade for you, but it definitely looks sketchy. sketchy for me to hold, a stock that long. We can see for what days this is about 10 days. This is I would say this is a stock that you have to, if if you're thinking about trading a stock, these are the type of stocks you definitely have to have some kind of insider information in, because people aren't really just buying, looking for pharmaceutical companies to buy every single time without any news. So people are definitely pumping stocks up. Like I've said before, people do pump up penny stocks so that way they get a huge, a bigger return. Typically, it happens with those penny stocks or with those YouTubers that do promote penny stocks. They are able to pump up stocks because they're able to promote them in their group, within their group, and they're probably able to work in the company and work with a promoter that can promote stocks and that can, actually get some exposure, other exposure for, penny stocks. Like I said, I get texts from penny stock promoters to buy the stock. And usually I'm not really interested in, trading just yet because, the semester is still going for me and I really don't want to be focused on stocks. So that's why I have investments, secure investments, so that way my money can build up over time. But if we were to, trade a stock, this is definitely something we might entertain because we do see that it looks like it's getting ready to bounce right here. If we look at the oversold levels, we're coming off those oversold levels and it looks like it's getting ready to curve right back up. But there's definitely optimism from the 10-day. Let's look at the 5-day. I typically hold a stock for about or buy a stock and hold it for about 3 days. Looking at the 5-day chart, we see that the chalk and oscillator is showing us that there is upward momentum to the stock, and we did see the high of 329. So it probably got 21 cents away from that high of 350. But we do see that resistance levels are definitely key in the stock. We see, it try to hit 350 again, which was the high back at 3 years ago. But we do see resistance definitely playing a huge level, and the stock definitely going higher. But we always have to be aware of those promoters that do promote stocks, because if we check right here, there's not really enough volume going on right here, right there, and all of a sudden there's a spike of 4 million shares being exchanged, and you look at the news and you definitely see exactly why the stock was up. But if there's any time when you don't see news on why the stock is up, I'm pretty sure that stock is being promoted, or you should definitely, look into, looking for other news sources. But typically that's what happens, especially if you get these low penny stocks that are definitely pharmaceutical companies. They definitely look for promoters to get those, their share price up. And typically, the company probably won't do anything, but that's typically what happens. The share price will get spiked up because, like I said, promoters definitely bring exposure to, other clients that are probably, just trade the stock for the day or probably trade it for the month. But, that's that. To get to the questions from my chat, let me go ahead and go to the comments that you guys were leaving. I know somebody told me about Bitcoin. I know people keep telling me about Bitcoin. I'm not sure what Bitcoin moves off of. Also, Bitcoin is not regulated. So if we were to, buy Bitcoin, I know the only way to buy it is probably through the OTC market, which is the Bitcoin Trust Company, or, Bitcoin Investment Trust. We see the 1-year chart. We definitely see, from $74. I was well aware of this company, from $74 all the way to $565. Now, if we were to invest in the company, because we did see the hype, we did see a lot of hype, for Bitcoin, because, this hype is still there, but nobody really talks about it. But we did see the hype, $74 to $565. Now from $565, what was the stock doing that made it go to $381? If you can answer that, please let me know, and we can probably definitely converse about Bitcoin. But if we're not aware of the events, not aware of what the what the currency is doing, I really don't feel comfortable investing in a currency that I'm not aware of what's going on with with the currency, because I'm pretty sure this is what happens when the the SEC definitely rejected it from being on the stock market. I think it would have been under the Bitcoin ETF for the New York Stock Exchange, and we see Bitcoin definitely tank, and Bitcoin did tank and pop back up. You do see those oversold pops that do happen, and there was just no wall to stick on because the stock is definitely falling back down. And I'm pretty sure before the day is over, this thing is probably, I wouldn't say before the day is over, but probably in the near future, we will see this thing go back to $300, and we probably might have to go back to it. We see the gaps must be filled at all times, and we have filled the gaps right here, right there. It looks like we might test this bottom once again because the stock is definitely going lower. And if you guys are not aware of what Bitcoin is, definitely read up on it before you guys invest in it. I know there's a lot of hype towards Bitcoin because it has had a huge run up so far. I know a lot of people, have been investing in it, but that's definitely a risky stock for you guys to definitely buy if you have not been studying it, or if you have not been, aware of what, the worldwide events have been going on. I'm not really knowledgeable on Bitcoin because I really don't know much on it, but I know that, it has been a huge run up, and a lot of professional traders do say stay away from it. If you're really gutsy, I see it as like a penny stock play, really. You might want to trade it here and there, but I really don't see, no point investing in it right now, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people are hitting that sell button because they're not really sure what's going on. People are just buying the hype pretty much and not aware of what's going on. And a lot of people are shorting the stock. We have another one about cannabis stocks. I really don't care for cannabis stocks. We see a cannabis industry right here. We have in relationship between Bitcoin and the cannabis sector. Definitely interesting article. Definitely read that, because I'm not going to read the whole thing. But when we look at the cannabis stocks, I know there was one that was mentioned in the chat that definitely does deal with cannabis, and we do see that the stock is definitely, I would say, a steady stock here and there. We don't see taking huge dips, or looking like AVO, or taking like these massive dips where the company stock is down about 50%. Next thing you know, the next month the stock does 100% run up, and then the process keeps repeating itself. But we do see different company stocks that are different pharmaceutical companies that have dipped in the pharmaceutical sector. A lot of these or a lot of the big name pharmaceutical companies, they are dipping into the weed sector. But as far as the cannabis stock, the stocks that are strictly cannabis, there's very few that are actually credible, and the rest are probably just stocks that you just trade. A lot of that is pretty much hype in the stock market. Not really sure, who's still trading weed stocks. I know you might trade it because I know a lot of people are not, maybe I think Las Vegas might be looking to legalize it, or I think it's another state looking to legalize cannabis. But remember, cannabis and Bitcoin, there are definitely some risks to playing those sectors if you are not aware of what stocks to play. That comes with doing your research and understanding the patterns, the trends that go along with the cannabis industry and with Bitcoin, as far as it being a cryptocurrency. That's pretty much what I have to say on the cannabis stocks, because I'm really not focused on cannabis stocks because they do not provide adequate return or a safe investment for me to put my money in. They're definitely a stock that you might look for trading because they have a lot of OTC stocks that are traded, a lot of cannabis OTC stocks that are traded. And a lot of stock promoters do promote cannabis stocks. But as far as, to look to investing in cannabis stocks, so, say like I was looking to invest in Snapchat, like I'm looking to invest in cannabis stocks. That's simply what happened, because even though the cannabis industry is booming, if we can get a credible company out, if we can get a credible company on the exchange, and they're able to, show growth or show any signs of taking opportunities, that's definitely something we'll be interested in. But as far as just buying the company just because it deals with weed, that's definitely doesn't make sense to me. If the company is showing growth, and if they are credible numbers, if the financial statements and balance sheets are looking good and they're not fraudulent, that's definitely a company that you should invest in. But if it doesn't provide you a financial statement or a balance sheet, if it doesn't provide you any news other than it being a cannabis stock, that's typically a company that's probably used for trading or is used for a promoter to trade. and I really don't feel comfortable investing in that. You should feel comfortable investing in that, especially if you're going to put your hard-earned money in that, and they're not going to show you any proof or any credibility, to them being an actual company. Tesla. We have Tesla thoughts. Let's see. We see Tesla definitely. Okay. Let's say we're going to buy Tesla. How about that? We're going to buy Tesla right here at these levels. Because you know what? A lot of people have been doubting Tesla. We see Andrew Left definitely come on, CNBC, spew his crap about why he thinks Tesla is, definitely going under or this and that. And what in the world? I have 100. Okay. Available dollars about 6,500. So I guess we can buy, a couple shares. No, let's just say 100. So that's how I feel about Tesla. Tesla is definitely going to go back up if we're being honest here, because remember, Tesla shareholders are definitely loyal to that brand, and no matter what, Tesla is definitely going to go right back up. And we definitely see the August report is coming out, or the report is definitely coming out on August the 2nd. Okay, definitely. Okay, well, anyways, I feel really confident about Tesla because a lot of people are going to buy this thing right back up. Andrew Left definitely has been shorting this company, ever since the company stock was in the hundreds, and he's still short the stock. And for some reason, he's still trying to push on CNBC that the company stock is going to fail. But we haven't really seen any evidence of that happening because the stock has definitely been running up so far, and we can definitely draw a let's see, drawing tools. They definitely changed the drawing tool in here, but we definitely have seen the company stock continue to climb up no matter what. The company stock continues to climb up, as we can see right there. Let's see. We see the company stock climb up right here, hit against that, that support level, and we break out and kind of come towards the support level of the flat line. Let's zoom in on that. Coming to support level right there, and the company stock definitely just shoot up in the air, and we see it come right back down. But Tesla definitely has to take a rest because, like I said, a lot of these growth names, they run up really fast, but at the same time they do have to take breaks, and sometimes those breaks might be painful for new shareholders, but I would say that it's very worth it, especially if you're looking out into the future of Tesla, what they're trying to do in California. If you haven't seen the video about the underground tunnels that they are trying to make, I know they have completed some of that. Some of that is actually real. Some of that is actually realistic, and it's an actual goal that has been achieved. But I'm not sure of how far they're going to go, into, digging under LA. But if you're definitely optimistic on the future, Tesla is the way to go, especially if you have a Tesla, or especially if you believe in solar panels, because they do have Solar City. If you believe in all of that, Tesla is definitely the way to go. We see the chart and oscillator showing that the momentum is definitely to the upside. You could have bought some shares right here, at the low 300s, but now we're bouncing back up to 320. But we see the RSI showing us that bidders are definitely coming back into the stock. And I would say no matter what, it looks like this company stock is going to go up. Andrew Left keeps coming out on TV telling us that, the company stock is definitely going to fail, or the company stock is definitely, not going to go back up, or, he's definitely being a huge bear because he has a huge short position. And I know he's getting squeezed for a lot of money. And it's, it's starting to get really sad because I see him on TV every time. Every time Tesla does take a small dip, and Tesla runs right back up every time you see it happen. So the next question is, but to answer that, if you see the growth numbers in Tesla, and you expect Tesla to have a blowout quarter, this is definitely a stock for you to be in. Remember, Tesla is about growth, it's about opportunity. If you definitely see that, in this company, you definitely want to buy right here. Remember, if you're definitely being very picky at at different levels that you want to buy, you should have bought at the early 300s. But if you don't care what price you buy and you just want to get in on the company, you definitely want to buy at this price right here. Now that the chalk and oscillator is showing us that the momentum is to the upside, RSI is showing us that buyers are coming right back in, even though the company stock is at about to hit $400. The stock is definitely about to run back up and probably hit $400. Maybe if they have a blowout quarter, or maybe towards the end of September. I'm pretty sure that'll be a goal. Towards the end of September, this company stock probably might be at $400. Let's see. What is next? Okay, I have 4 comments here. 5. Let me see if I can find them because they're not popping up on my phone. Let's see here. I know that can't be all of the comments. I know it says 5. We have 5 comments here, but it's only showing 3. Let's see what's going on here. Also, I know I'm not sure if you guys were aware, but let's check out the Dow Jones. I know they definitely did take a huge dip today on the news of Donald Trump Jr. Releasing those emails showing him that he did have communication with the Russian lawyers, and we do see that exactly what happened. The Dow Jones took a huge dip. I wouldn't say very huge, but we went back to about over 100 points. We're down over 100 points in a couple of minutes actually, and the stocks definitely rebounded and bounced right back up. But as we see exactly what is driving the stock market. If we get an impeached president, I'm not sure how low the stock market will go, but we do see the implications of getting those emails definitely feeding back into that Russian inclusion narrative that people have been trying to push. And we definitely see that the market is definitely going to have a huge fit once we see that, or if we see that all of that is true. But yeah, looks like that's all the comment. Looks like it's all the comments. All right, I tried to. All right, that's all the comments. I know it says 5, but it's only showing 3. So I'm sorry if I'm not answering anybody. Those taken 2. If your questions weren't answered, or if you have any questions for me, definitely hit. Put it in the comment section. So remember, Tesla. You want to buy Tesla if you see the growth there in the future, and if you're very optimistic about being a shareholder or being a part of that company, you definitely want to buy it. I'm not sure if Tesla pays out any dividends, but I'm pretty sure that will be in the near future, or maybe if you guys push for it, maybe that's something that will happen later on in the future. You start to get some dividends coming in the mail. But also cannabis stocks, Bitcoin. Remember, if you see growth, if you see opportunity, if it's steady growth, along with opportunity, and definitely doesn't involve much risk, but the upside is definitely unlimited, we definitely want to be a part of that. Such as a Tesla, such as an Apple, such as buying into an index fund. The opportunity is definitely limitless. I would say the risk to investing in an index, you do have those short-term dips, but the goal overall, or the future outlook for it, is that no matter what goes on, it's definitely going to go up, over time, because you have these different, you have different companies being replaced. If a company doesn't show any growth, it gets replaced with a company that does have growth, and this is exactly why people should be looking at the QQQ, SPY, Dow Jones. And as you see right here, the trend is definitely obvious. It goes up. And we see a trend of upwardness. And, at sometimes, I would say at sometimes, we do see that, those indexes definitely get boring and they start to, not do anything. But towards the end of the year or towards the beginning of the year, that's typically where you see all of the, I would say all of the for those indexes to, keep rallying. And, towards we get to the end or the beginning, that's typically where the stock or the indexes start to rally. But they mostly just chill out during the whole year, and they, probably give you some action, like I said, at the end or the beginning of the year. And I know the QQQ has been giving people action all year, consistently, but we do see it come off all-time highs. So, like I said, it might be an opportunity for you guys to buy into it. We see the SPY definitely showing us upward. No matter what, the stocks go up. That's pretty much what I'm trying to tell you guys. No matter what, indexes go up over time, and there's, no complication to that. We see the IWM, Russell 2000. We see that, it's basically it goes up, but it's most of a zigzag when it does go up, and that typically does, rub me the wrong way because, we're up and down, and typically there's no growth, to be set there. But if we look at it from long-term perspective, there's definitely a lot of growth for the Russell 2000 to definitely hit. But like I said, if you guys have any comments, any questions about different stocks you want me to take a look at, you want me to take a look at any penny stocks here, to see if it's worth trading them, definitely hit me up in the comment section. Remember, if I didn't answer any of your questions, please let me know. But that's all I have for you guys. If I do have, any more, I would say any more stories for you guys, I'll definitely, put them online. But that's all I have for you guys. Take care.